Are you ready?
Ready.
All right, let's go. Kevin here, Taiwan financial advisor and best-selling author. We are here to talk about the stock market. I want you to add this company to your watch list. The company is TSM, Taiwan Semiconductor. Now, be very careful here. I'm not saying go buy it. I'm not saying that this is time to jump into the stock. I'm saying just circle it, put it on your watch list, and kind of like file that one for later once we kind of figure out what happens in 2023. The reason why I say this is because Warren Buffett, one of the world's richest, most famous investors, put in $4.1 billion into this chip manufacturer. Now, we all know that the chip business ain't doing so well in 2022. So that's why I'm not, saying that I am going to buy it. I'm not telling nobody to buy it. I'm just saying put it on your watch list, file it for later, start to do your research on it in case things start to change. Because what I have noticed, similar to Target, is that Taiwan Semiconductor is performing slightly differently than the other chip manufacturers, meaning it's down, but it ain't down by double digits, at least in the last 6 months. So for example here, I just want to read off some stats real quick. Last 6 months, according to Yahoo Finance, Taiwan Semiconductor, TSM, is down 9.43%. That's really not that bad compared to its largest competitors. One of those competitors is AMD. They're down 21%. And then we have Intel down 30%. And all of these, I would say mid-October. I mean, October was the best month since 1976. But since mid-October, they have started to trend in the right direction. Now, there's no guarantee that it's going to continue in that direction. However, Warren Buffett, $4 billion, that does mean something. Doesn't mean everything, but it does mean something. Let me give you a little more context here as we go out and give you the last 1 year, just kind of give you, again, more context, because all these stocks are still down, right? And I would prefer, especially when we're talking, right, I would prefer to buy things that are moving in the right direction and that we can reasonably rely on for solid returns. Why would I invest in something that's down 20 or 30% when I can invest in something that's up 20 or 30%? And there are a lot of those deals that are still out there. We've talked about them inside the members only, and we're going to continue to talk about them. In fact, I gave you a financial stock. Well, if you're in the members only, you got the financial stock that I think is probably one of the best in the market right now and will likely do quite well in 2023. That's in the members only right now. Just a little teaser for you. All right, so aside from that, though, let's look at the last year. Over the last year, Taiwan Semiconductor is down 30%. Again, down 30%. That's not great. Then we've got Intel at negative 40, and then you've got AMD at negative 51. I didn't even put NVIDIA on here because I don't want to be sad, and I don't want to make you sad either. So just to throw it out there, Taiwan Semiconductor, Warren Buffett says that this is a buy for him. Now, in context, there are a few things you should know about this as well. Now, it's only quote unquote in air quotes, it's only $4 billion. That's not a huge amount of his particular portfolio, and he still has. I'm just pulling it up here. He still has $108 billion in cash just sitting around to deploy. So I am sure that he's going to make some more significant moves here in the near future. And he's been making a lot of moves this year. Oxy Petroleum is probably the one that made the most money and has made the most headlines. But $108 billion, that's a lot of money. And the funny thing here is that is worth more than all of Lyft, which is crazy. But you could add up Lyft, Spotify, Lululemon, Snapchat. I'm looking at logos here. I'll put this, if you're listening to it on podcast, I'm sorry, but for those who are watching on YouTube, I will just show you this. Domino's Pizza and what looks like, I think I already mentioned Snapchat, all those companies combined are still less than the money that Warren Buffett has in cash. Now, interestingly enough, he ain't buying none of those companies, right? He has no interest so far in the companies that did list, but Taiwan Semiconductor is one of those. Now, again, tech is going to be iffy. When we look at semiconductors as a whole, they are the largest. TSM is the largest. They're the ones that everybody's trying to catch up to. And there are some flaws there too in that, or not flaws, but concerns due to how the Taiwanese and China relationship is. Right? I'm not an international expert, but I know it ain't safe. And it's not necessarily the most cordial relationship there. So that is a bit of a concern. It's one of the reasons why the U.S. passed the CHIPS bill to combat a particular scenario, in case there is a conflict and we don't get chips from Taiwan, we can start to produce them a bit more here, which is why the chips bill was kind of couched not only as a spending bill and a kind of manufacturing bill in the US, but more so as a defense mechanism too, because we do need these for defenses, for technology, and just general things. So that is something that you might want to be aware of too. It ain't just free and clear. I do not have an indication based on technical analysis, even fundamental analysis, to say that, hey, this is the time to jump into it. But I do want to just say, hey, look, just add it there, just circle it, just be aware of it, and start to kind of do your research now. And when the time is right, perhaps we'll bring it back up. But I did think it was a pretty significant announcement because, again, he's been sitting on cash, a lot of cash, well over $100 billion, obviously. But he's been spending it down. He's been making some strategic investments. And again, when he bought Oxy Petroleum, OXY, before the whole Russian-Ukraine thing, nobody really saw it coming. And the last time I checked, and this was months ago now, Oxy Petroleum was up like 137%. And I want to double check that too real quick. And their stock symbol is, and I'll put it here on the screen too for those who are watching, it's OXY. And I am going to type that in here to Yahoo Finance so that I can just see it on screen. So Oxy Petroleum in the last 6 months is only up 5.5%, which again is not great, but it's good in a year like 2022. Let me go to year to date. Okay, so from January to now, we're recording this on November 17th, it's up 148%. Okay, 148%. So it looks like it may have stalled out over the last 6 months or so, but Warren Buffett got it at least, I think at the latest, he got into it in 2021, and it's absolutely done well. Now I can't tell you that Taiwan Semiconductor is going to be the same from this point forward. I do not know. Okay, I'm not going to sit out here and just throw something out there. What I am here to say is, if it is the next Oxy Petroleum, at least you want to start to research now, right? And if things start to pick up, you will be one of the first in line should this be the same or even in the ballpark. I'll take a 50% gain. I'll take that. Right, I think most of us would, especially after what we've gone through in 2022 so far. All right, so that is it for us today. Just wanted to give that update, just telling you now, because at some point, semiconductors will come back. I don't know if it's going to be in 2023. Can't tell you that. But they are going to come back because these are things that we do use and is the best one out of the category because I think Intel's going to struggle for a while. I don't know what's going on with NVIDIA, and I don't know what's going on with AMD either, but they will improve at some point in time. So have it on your list. Be ready when that time is here. And in the meantime, you want to start investing in other places. And we've talked about a lot of those places inside the members only as well. All right. I got more videos to record. I will likely record them between today and tomorrow because y'all have been asking some questions, which I always enjoy. So if you have any additional questions, make sure that you put them inside the comment section below. Like, subscribe. That is your homework. And then as always, make sure that you check out the members only. I covered some stocks that are actually working right now, which, you know, lo and behold, that is a thing. Outside of oil, there are still some companies that are doing quite well. And this is the time. This is the time right now in late November, going into December, as we kind of shut down things for the holidays and eat all the food out there. This is the time to start to see, like, hey, tax time is coming up. Tax time in terms of like selling and writing it off on your taxes to a certain degree. I wrote a whole article about it on Business Insider. If you haven't seen it already, actually, no, I'm writing it. I need to finish writing it tonight, because it's due tomorrow. So I'm going to write an article that y'all read about what we call tax loss harvesting. We can go into that in deeper detail once the article is written. Aside from that, though, this is the time to decide what you want to sell and what you want to pick up for next year. So for me, I'm already convinced I'm going to sell Meta. It's got to go. I already told y'all I had sold Target way back in June, and I'm already looking at like, hey, what is it that I want to add to my portfolio? Now, I've already got a short list, right? I talked about inside the members only what that short list is. There may be a few adjustments between now and the end of December because I still got some time, but us inside the members only, we know what we're getting. Right? We know what works and what is likely to work more often than not in 2023. This is your chance to start preparing now because what you don't want to do is make a rash decision, right? You got what is it, 6 weeks or so before 2022 is over. There are all tongue twisters today. This is your chance to research now and be prepared for what could happen or what we expect to happen in 2023. What do we expect to happen in 2023? We already know the outcome of the election, so there's probably not going to be any major legislation there, but interest rates are still likely to rise, and supply chain has gotten better so far in 2022, so we expect that to do better. So those are a few things, or just a few things, that are kind of on the board. Now, there's always going to be something that's unexpected, like Russia and Ukraine. Did not see that coming. I don't think most of us did. And we had historic inflation, which none of us really saw that coming either, at least not to a 40-year high. So those are just a few of the things, as well as recession, that could be out there on the board as well, on the bingo card, if you will. So those are things that you want to consider as you are kind of looking forward to 2023 and how you want to have your portfolio constructed for that point in time. Which again, why we have the members only, so we can help you to get all those things in place and be the best, most informed investor that you can possibly be. All right, that is it for me today. I'll talk to y'all tomorrow. Bye.